Hello everyone, welcome back. I wanted to do a slightly different video today. I'm the kind of person who loves to wear updos. Like anytime that I'm going to any kind of like dress up or formal occasion, I love to wear my hair up and do something formal with it. And as a hairstylist, I hear that that's something a lot of women, they find that they can't do themselves. So I wanted to show you a very easy but very like beautiful, romantic way to do an updo. Really the only thing you need to do is curl your hair and pin it. You need a heat protectant, and I show you two that I like. I'm not really one to advocate for drugstore hair care products because they can be a little more damaging on your hair, but there is one like drugstore hair care heat protectant that I show at the beginning of the video. So you can have like a slightly less expensive option, but you just need your curling iron, a shit ton of bobby pins, and some hairspray, and then your heat protectant. And that's really it. And it's super easy and it's very romantic. I'm the kind of person who will sometimes, if I feel like it, I will wear my hair like this to work. One, because I don't give no fucks, and two, because I'm fancy. But I think it's beautiful. I hope that you find an occasion that you can wear this to, even if you're like a bridesmaid or want to go on a date night or anything like this. I think this is a beautiful romantic hairdo. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below, and I hope that you enjoy the video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe. As with any style, you're going to want to start with detangled hair, so you will need a hairbrush and a claw to separate your hair. I show you two heat protectants here. The first is a Tresemme one. The second is a Rusk Thermal Shine Spray. I like the Rusk because it's lightweight and it really silks down my hair beautifully. When you're curling your hair, the key is to make small sections, and then I'm using an added thermal spray that has a little bit of hold in it. When you curl your hair, start at the roots, silken the hair down, so run the iron over it one time briefly, and then start at the upper end, so halfway up or more before you work the iron down. If you start at the bottom and try to roll your way up, you're putting heat where the iron needs to be the least. So you're leaving the heat on at the ends where you really don't need that added heat because those tend to be a little more damaged, obviously, than our new growth is. When I get done with the curls, I let it cool in my hand a little bit so that our curls are going to be a little firmer and they'll last a little longer. It doesn't particularly matter if you want to do some curls away from the face or some curls towards the face. I just kind of go away from the face towards the face. However, I feel like it, since it's in an updo and it will all be pinned up anyway, doesn't really matter which direction you curl it. I'm taking down an extra section of my hair and I'm going to start working my way up, doing small sections, curling pieces here and there, and I'm always using my heat protectant and my thermal spray that adds a little bit of extra hold, a little bit of extra punch to our curls. This is just showing a little bit, once you get closer to the top, that I'm taking smaller sections and I'm going to do a slightly firmer curl. That way it will hold and show up in the updo really beautifully. Once you're done getting everything curled, you'll notice that I take the top section of the hair, which we haven't quite got to yet. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But you'll notice that I take the top section of my hair and I put it in a claw away from the bottom section. So I'm going to section it off here, and I'm just grabbing a claw to keep it all out of my face, but kind of in my face at the same time. And I'm going to take a box of bobby pins. I keep a pound because everybody knows you lose them like crazy. But I'm going to take the pins, and I'm taking the bottom half of my hair and putting 2 pins on either side, and I'm kind of covering my ears a little bit so it looks a little looser in the front. I'm just anchoring those pins in. My hair is really thin, so it's easy to anchor things in. When I start to pin up the curls, the easiest way for me to describe it is to cup the curls in your hands at the bottom and then just kind of smush them up towards the base. That way you're keeping their curls in their natural position, and then while they're still cupped in your hand, start to pin. So you're just keeping it where it looks like the curls just kind of got shrunk up to your head and you're just pinning it there. It will look really natural. I also like to add an extra pin at the nape to kind of add extra security, like an extra anchor, before I start to pin hair up at the bottom. That way if you're dancing, it's really going to hold into place. We've got pins, everything's locked down. This is the way the bottom of the updo looks. For the top, I'm taking the portions towards the back and I'm going to start teasing them up, so giving us a little bit of volume. And then once they've got some tease in them, I'm just setting them kind of on top of where we styled the rest of our hair and pinning them into place so everything has a really seamless finish. and it's going to look like it cascades all together, and no one will be able to tell that you did it in two different sections. And I'm going to repeat the same process on the other side. So I'm just going through and I'm teasing everything down, laying it on top of the style, and then anchoring the curls into place. The easiest way is to split your bobby pin and then kind of push it into the style, so that way you're not seeing everything, it's not laying flat against your head. So to create a V and then push that into the hair. Now for the next part, when you start to curl everything down, or pin everything down, I like to kind of pretend I'm going to pin it, so lay it where I think it will look nicely, and then I pin it into place, so I'm not having to remove any pins. So pretend to pin and then actually pin. The key is to leave the curls loose so you can really see the tendrils and the tassels and everything, so you can see that texture on the way back. So keep it really loose, and then I anchor the pins into that tease, and it's going to hold beautifully. When I did the bangs, I kind of smoothed them over the forehead so it would look a little bit more like I had some bangs, which I don't have any, so that way it doesn't make my forehead look so big. I'm smoothing it down and then pinning it back. And on the same section over here, I'm just repeating that process. So I'm teasing some areas back, and then I did recurl these front pieces. That way when I did decide to pin them, they would have a little bit more life sprung back into them. They were starting to get a little limp. This is the part where you can really put your own twist on it and make it look different for every person. And then I'm just finishing off with some hairspray to lock everything into place.